Hey everybody, my next guest is a New York City-based award-winning comedian. He is the recipient of the prestigious Andy Kaufman Award for his original and creative performances, and he's also the host of the podcast Talkie Walkie with Marcus Monroe, where he strolls through the city while chatting with your favorite comedians and performers. Here he is, the one and only Marcus Monroe. Dude, what's up, man?
Yo, what up? I'm happy to be here. A little DONversation before dinner. So this is perfect.
Yeah, man, that's
this is the perfect Tuesday.
There you go. We could do this every Tuesday if you want, man.
Yeah, I'd love to.
A DONversation before dinner
Absolutely,
would be fantastic.
Dude. Great.
We got on just a minute ago, and you mentioned you saw the shirt, and you said that you just today, a few hours ago, came up with a sketch group called the Bestie Boys, and here I am rocking the Beastie Boys shirt.
Yeah. So me and my buddy Corey and Trevor were like loosely talking about, we made some content together and we thought, hey, we should just put this on our own page, because we all put it on each other's pages. But I was like, yeah, we need a name for our group though. And then, we settled on the Bestie Boys, which is kind of funny because like we're friends. We're not best friends, but we're good friends.
Right. Yeah.
It's just funny to be like, we're all men in our 30s or 40s calling each other besties. It's pretty silly.
I love it.
And then one of the first songs we did was a rap song about the 4th of July. But if you listen to it, it's very heavily Beastie Boys inspired. But the names we passed on for the sketch group are maybe even better. We had one that was Jessica Parker Sarah. I thought that was kind of funny.
like that one. That's great.
And then Trevor, he wanted the group to be called Why Not? And I was like, that's just going to get confusing. I think people aren't going to like, why not? I was like, wait, are you asking me?
It's right there with like the Who, but
yeah. Well, the Who, I mean, now I'm sure they had some problems before they broke with the name. The Who?
Right. Like the management was probably like, I don't know if this name's going to work, guys.
Yeah. So right now, at least, I already got the handle on Instagram, Bestie Boys Official, because Bestie Boys was taken by some inactive account, which I did message. I said, can I use this handle? And they did not respond yet.
Wow, man. So the original Bestie Boys are sleeping on it, man.
They're sleeping on it. It was like one person. They have like 6 posts. It's so frustrating when that happens because like my name, Marcus Monroe, is taken by some guy that doesn't even post anymore. So I got to put a J. Yeah. Do you know how frustrating that is? Because then I have to put a J. My middle name is Joseph. And so I'm Marcus J. Monroe. But then people sometimes bring me up on stage like that. I'm like, no, that's just my Instagram handle. Don't call me that in real life. Like that's just because Marcus Monroe is taken.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like there's not a lot of Don Sills in the world, but I did have a hard time with DONversation. Like even on my Instagram, I had to do DONversation Don Sill because there's other DONversation. There's a billion people in the world, man.
They're really truly. And my podcast, Talkie Walkie, is not even the first podcast called Talkie Walkie, but it's the first one with this concept where I walk and talk with people, which you'd think it had been done before, like and called that. Even that, I'm just like, oh, whatever.
What I did, and you should do this too if you haven't already, because it seems like something maybe that you might have done. I made Facebook friends with every Don Sill. So I'm friends with, and I tried to have a meeting with all of the Don Sills.
A meeting? We're going to call a meeting?
I tried to call a meeting, and none of them responded to my meeting request.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing you could do is to call a meeting. What are you going to talk about?
I wanted to talk about all the, because my last name's Sill, so you hear all of the jokes, pencil, windowsill, imbecile. So I wanted to see, if they had that, we all had that in common, and that kind of thing.
There was a guy named Marcus Monroe, has my same name. He's a pastor, and he actually called me once because he does like comedy on the side, but he's like his full-time pastor or something. And he's like a black guy. All the other Marcus Monroes are black. Like, which is so funny. Like, and I used to live in Harlem, and so I'd be like, "Yeah, my name is Marcus Monroe. I live in Harlem." Then I show up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not what I was expecting." And so this guy, he called me. He's like, "Man, we got to stick together." Like, and I was like, "What do you like?" Because we have the same name. He was a nice guy, and I think I followed him for a little while on like Instagram or something. But then I was like, all right, like I don't need this. But it was yeah, it's funny.
It is weird what bonds people together, whether it's just your name, having the same name, even just the same first name. You're
Yeah,
Marcus, I'm
that's true.
DeMarcus. Then all of a sudden,
Totally. Yeah. And my wife, her name is Gina, but she spells it Jena. So whenever she meets another Gina that spells it Jena, she feels validation because 90% of the time it's Jenna. People are calling my wife Jenna. So I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna go see Gina now. People are like, oh, you're cheating on Jenna? I'm like, no, it's the same person. It's not. But yeah, she has it really tough. But whenever it's someone like at a restaurant or something calls her calls her Gina, she gets like real excited. And I think it's usually like Europeans that pronounce it that way.
See, so
I don't know why.
there you go. She's ahead of the curve, man. She's down with the Europeans.
Yeah.
That's that's where all the trends begin, right?
I guess so. Yeah. I hope she doesn't leave me.
Dude, I've been watching your stuff, dude. You're pretty freaking amazing. What I like is that the Andy Kaufman Award, and that seems to fit so perfect with you because I was looking at like the criteria for the Andy Kaufman thing, and
right.
Originality, creativity, spirit, execution. Were you always a fan of Kaufman, or was this just kind of your style? Is just kind of in that direction of kind of. I wouldn't say you're anti-comedy, but Kaufman was kind of like anti-comedy, that kind of, vibe.
Yeah,
So
there are things I do that are anti-comedy, I think. I never really think about it in advance and like, oh, this will be anti-comedy.
right,
Yeah. It just happens. I came across Andy Kaufman when I was in middle school. So that's like, oh God, like 1997 or 98 is when I heard about him. And I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin. And so it wasn't like a comedy town, not much, so I had like a book, and I was a big wrestling fan, still am a little bit. And so when I heard that there was a comedian that used to wrestle, and I knew Jerry Lawler because of being just like growing up in middle school watching the Attitude Era, I knew who that was. So I just got really into this guy who was an actor, who was a comedian, who was a wrestler, but he was on Taxi. I remember watching Taxi.
Vodka, you're weird. Hey, we're all coming from a different direction, and sometimes it doesn't get in sync.
Andy Kaufman, like being a fan of his, gave me kind of a validation to be weird and to not always like follow the norm.
Right.
Because like, oh, this guy did it his own way. Oh, I don't have to do what everyone else is doing. I can just do this and see what happens. Oh, why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle?
Why?
Because his wife died. Because at the time I was doing like professional, like really high, like professional juggling shows.
Yeah.
And I was like doing like cruises but my show was so weird because I was very like Kaufman inspired. So it was almost like you said like anti-comedy earlier. It was like an anti-juggling show while being a pretty damn good juggling show. Right under the leg, let's count them. That's good, right? It was almost like The Amazing Jonathan, like what he did with magic. Now, I'm not comparing myself to AJ, but I'm just saying like that same vibe.
Right.
Sorry you had to see that.
Like, oh, I don't know. I don't really care if this works. I'm just trying to get through this, or whatever the feeling was. Very just like untraditional was what I was like interested in performing, because everyone sees the same shtick when you see a juggler, it's all the same kind of shit. But when you see someone who just like doesn't care about that and wants to like flip it down, reverse it, and it's kind of more interesting to me.
If anyone here noticed this, but I didn't even juggle 4 clubs. I went right from 3 to 5. Name me one juggler you know that goes from 3 clubs to 5 clubs. You can't do it.
Yeah, man. I'll say so. I'll say there's also a sense of excitement and like that dangerous, not dangerous like you're scared for your life, but there's a sense of danger to an act like that, where whether it's Kaufman doing like, kind of off-kilter comedy, or like so the Amazing Jonathan with his kind of magic is all out there, and I've seen some of the stuff that you did back in the day with the juggling on the unicycle, and it's kind of like this sense of I got to pay attention because I don't know what's going to happen next. It's unpredictable.
I was not good. I was not good, and I was juggling like such dangerous stuff, and like no one stopped me. I was like my parents, like people were always like, "Oh, what did your parents think when you told them you wanted to drop out of college and juggle full time?" I was like, they were the ones telling me to do it. Like there was just like it was all green lights always, and so I was just like, hey, if I could put a firework on my head and light it and then like juggle, and they're like, yeah, dude, do that. Okay, so I did that, and it became like my trademark. Although I did hear some guy just died doing that. Did you hear that?
Oh no, shit, no, really.
During the 4th, he put a firework on his head, which I've done literally thousands of times. Lit the firework and it exploded his head. Very sad. Not making light of that.
Well, according to witnesses and family members at the scene, the decedent was standing in the roadway on Cottonwood Drive and had on a large top hat and put the firework device on top of that, lit it, put it on top of his head, and it exploded, and he suffered a massive head injury.
Maybe he used a different type of firework. He must have, because I would always use the ones that'll just like emit fountains of sparks.
Like shoot out. Yeah, he might have
put that was what I was into.
He might have put an M80 on his head or something. That's nuts.
Oh, that could have been. Yeah, that would just blow your head right off.
Yeah, that's a piece of dynamite. Yeah,
yeah, I got
good. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, sir.
But no, I when you look at the juggling and all of those type of things you were doing, you made it. You had a career going just like before the comedy career. You had this whole other side of you.
Yeah,
like you were on the news. You would like doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, dude, I was on I was on Letterman juggling. I did I was on I did tons of I was on TRL. They had me juggling in there. I was like I did a handful of reality shows doing it. It was like things were going good for me. Then I was like, you know what? What if I didn't do this? I was just like, and I just did the jokes because the jokes to me were the most fun. And I was like, I'd be practicing at the YMCA, like my juggling, and then like I'd pay like a couple hundred bucks a month to like be a member of the Y just so I could practice train my juggling skills. But then people come and play basketball, and like a kids camp comes in, and I had to leave. And it was just like, I felt so discouraged all the time. And I really wasn't getting better as a juggler. Like I can hold my own, but I wasn't like improving. And then I was like, oh man, let's just try something else. And I signed with a manager, and he was like, yeah, let's not do the juggling, but let's see if we can get you good doing stand-up. And that's where just like all this light bulb like went off. I was like, oh, I don't have to, I could be funny without a box of juggling props next to me. And that's the most like the best feeling in the world. Just going out on stage, you're just with the mic and just a crowd of people, and it's like you versus them, but really you need them and they need you. But it feels kind of like war sometimes. I love it.
How long you guys been married for?
A month.
Oh, congratulations! Can I buy you a drink? What do you want?
White Russians, man.
White Russians. All right. Can we get? I don't know. Am I able to? Can I do that? And I'll just give them like a couple dollars for the price of the drinks. They just got married. Am I talking to anyone who works here? I can't see anything. There's lights, and you probably think, oh yeah, they're just so close, but I don't see anyone. I see these blue lights and it's black. So if I'm looking, okay. So you might get something. I tried. I don't know. I've never done it. I've always been like, let me buy you guys a drink, because I see people do that sometimes. And I've always wanted to do that. So we'll see if something happens. So now, like, do we wait?
And it does say a lot for when you are comfortable on stage and you've been doing it since you were a kid, this one thing, and now you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to use that anymore. I'm going out here alone. There's
Yeah.
something.
I went solo, baby.
Yeah, there's something to that. And who's was it? Rory Rosegarden?
Yeah.
So Rory, Long Island guy, did a lot for the Long Island scene. I'm based out of here, Long Island Governors, and
Yeah.
Ray Romano, like Rory, dude. He's good to have in your corner. His brother Peter is another solid dude. So so having Rory have your back and
It's
kind of
huge. It's huge. It's like I said about being validated, but that's a huge someone like Rory being like, hey, I want, he doesn't work with a lot of people. He works with like eight people, eight or nine people. So to be one of those people that have his guidance, and he's been in the business, he'd hate me for saying this, but for a long time, he has, and, he started writing a paper on comedy when he was in high school, and then it just formed and like transformed into a management business. It's incredible. And to hear this, like we talk sometimes for hours about just like stories of him and Henny Youngman, or like, when Ray Romano did his first Tonight Show appearance, like he was there for that. And it's just incredible. And I'm really hoping like I get, a little taste of that, event soon when, we're working on some stuff, but you always, hope that like one day, he like other people are like, hey, what was it like when Marcus did this or that? You kind of hope like you're at the other end of that eventually down the line.
Hey, when you get a guy like Rory who kind of believes in you, like you said, he doesn't have many guys he's managing personally like that, and then for you to be one of them kind of tells you like, hey, you're doing something, go on the right pathway, man.
Yeah,
so.
I sometimes feel like, like when a new building comes up in the city, they have to have like a few units for like the poor. I feel like that's what he's doing for me. Like he's just kind of like subsidizing like like it's an act of charity taking me on, but I'll take it. I don't care. It's
so how
great.
did he discover you in the clubs, or did he discover you out?
This is one of these stupid stories, but my brother used to manage this store called Kith. It's a really popular like urban store, and I was just venting to him one day. I was like, man, my career is like stagnant. Like I need an agent or a manager to take me to the next level. He's like, oh, why don't you, I know this comedy manager, Rory Rosegarden. I'm like, what? How long have you been sitting on this contact, dude? Like, and my brother, like, he would like, he knows a ton of like celebrities. Everyone would go into Kith, like, and have, he'd close Kith, like Kanye West would come in, he'd close the store, and he'd just be my brother and Kanye shopping for an hour or something.
Wow,
like he was like he doesn't get like crazy about celebrities or any or like powerful people. So he just didn't even think about it. Like I'm like, dude, you have this information. So I had my brother be the messenger. He's like, hey, my brother's a comedian. I'm sure Rory gets that all the time. My brother's a comedian,
right, yeah.
And he was like, he goes, I'll give him a courtesy call. Like it was very nice. So I remember I think I was in New York, or maybe I was in Los Angeles, and I had a call with Rory. He's like, well, I want to see your stuff. Send me a video of your stuff. I was like, okay. He's like, it doesn't have to be good. I'm like, all right. And then I sent him a really good video though from the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. That's one of the best comedy clubs in the world. They have a variety act on with all these comics, and I was the variety act. But my act at the time, the juggling act, was very comedy focused, because it was at the time where I was like maybe thinking about like branching out and just doing more stand-up. So it was very stand-up heavy. And just maybe I did like a minute or two of juggling in like this whole 15-minute act.
No one wants to see the juggler that catches everything. Like that's
and I sent it to him, and he called me back. He's like, you're really funny. And I was like, thanks. He's like, let's keep in touch. I'm like, okay. And then in 2019, I got passed at the Comedy Cellar. And if you don't know what sometimes I say I got passed at the Cellar. People are like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, it's a good, like, no, they passed. That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I didn't get passed. I got passed,
Right, yeah.
And so that means like you can put in your avails, and Esty, the booker, will book you if she wants. And I got passed at the Cellar. So then I emailed Rory right away. I was like, I got passed at the Cellar tonight. And he goes, call me tomorrow. So I called him the next day. We set up a meeting, bada bing, bada boom, handshake deal, signed with Rory. It's been great.
What a week that was. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Passed by
it
the
was wild.
cellar, Rory. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was like 4 months later, the whole world shut down. So I was like, oh no.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
This is bad to say, but like, did you have a nice pandemic?
You know what? It was funny because I actually, in the beginning of it, the first couple of months, I was kind of enjoying it. Like, I was like, this is awesome. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
I was able to just relax and just, work on other stuff, like, like writing and things like that.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. So how about you? Did you have a nice pandemic?
I mean, yeah, I, of course, done like, my friends and family dying, but like aside from that, it was fun to well, like, yeah, I mean, my wife and I actually get along great, so it was fun to spend time with her. And it was kind of like a reset in a way, because you know how New York is just like go, go, go all the time, fast, get out of my way. It was just different. It was calm, it was like tranquil in a way. And we have like outdoor space in our apartment. We had just moved in like 2 months before COVID happened. So so we had a little private, like outdoor. It's really kind of like where I spent most of my days out there. So yeah, I mean, I had a good pandemic in that sense. I feel like that's where I started making weird videos, was during the pandemic. And so I kind of can blame the pandemic on that, but
whoa, a mini version of one of the guys from BTS. Cool.
I don't know if the pandemic happened. I don't know if I'd be like into making these videos. Like, I put a lot of time into them, and I don't know if I would have been doing that.
It forced people to be more creative, especially comedians, and I think most creative people who are normally out in front of on stages.
Yeah.
And now you still have this inner thing where you have to get this creativity out of you, and you don't know how. And thank God. Imagine if we had the pandemic in the 70s or the 80s, when there was no computers or no internet, no YouTube.
Terrible.
We would all been reading books.
It was nuts. I got on TikTok during the pandemic, and that was it was a blessing and a curse. I don't know if you know this story, but I made a TikTok of myself grilling a steak in the bathroom of a Delta toilet during a flight. And it looked like it looked real. Like it wasn't. It was like, I had a flashlight that flickered like flame, but like if you're watching this video, you'd be like, oh my God, that guy's a maniac. And I posted that video, and I flew home to visit my family for Thanksgiving. So I posted it on Wednesday night, woke up Thursday morning. The video went viral like in a night. But then I got a call from Atlanta, and it was Delta Airlines, and then they put me on the no-fly list.
Whoa.
Yeah. Crazy. So
to this day, you can't fly Delta?
Yeah, and yeah, for the rest of my life.
Did you ever plead your case?
Yes, I got a lawyer. It was a huge deal. The FAA did an investigation. I had to take myself off social media for a couple of weeks because I got a lot of hate from the flight attendant community and the pilot. People were like, oh, this, people got mad. They were like, oh, there could be copycats, even though this was fake. There could be people not knowing that and do it for real. But I was like, come on, we've seen movies. We've seen the movie. We've all seen snakes on a plane.
Everybody strap in. I'm about to open some fucking windows.
Like no one's putting snakes on planes. And it got to be it was a pretty big deal because 50 million people saw the video, and it made like national news. Like Yahoo, Fox News and stories on it. I was getting calls to like do interviews. I turned everyone down. I was like, oh, this isn't. I thought it was funny. No one else thought it was funny.
Do you think okay, so that was during the pandemic era when everybody was ultra sensitive, eggshell time. Do you think if you did that video now, it would be the same feedback or?
Probably, I think. Because I mean, they put me on the no-fly list when flights were $40. Like they were like, it wasn't like a good time to travel. And I was like, hey, I'll give you guys some business. I love Delta. I flew Delta everywhere. And yeah, it was a bummer because now I have to fly an American, which means like I have to fly through Charlotte all the time.
So now there's no forgiveness from Delta. Like even with the lawyer, the Delta won't budge. They will never forgive you.
No, that's why I talk about it everywhere I can go in hopes that someone from Delta reaches out to me. I did a show last week and some guy came up to me after the show. He's like, "Hey, I'm a Delta pilot." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "Have you seen this video before?" Because I close in my act, I close showing this video sometimes. And he goes, "Oh yeah." We've all seen it. It made the rounds. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's in the HR video.
Probably. And I was like, any chance you can, like you can get me off this no-fly list? And he's like, nope.
Wow.
You're on your own, partner. I was like, oh, come on, man. So I can't fly in Delta. I'm trying, man. I'm trying, Don. It's hard.
Is this video still available, like on TikTok and stuff? Or I find it?
No, I took it. Well, look, if you search Marcus Monroe airplane steak, I'm sure you can find it. I took it down, and I try to take it down as much as I can, only because it's a big part of my show now, and I want the reveal to happen during the show.
Right? Yeah. You don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, but I mean, so many people have seen it already, so I'm just like, it kind of has a life of its own at this point. I kind of stopped trying to take it down. It's hard to like get videos taken down sometimes too, so I just don't worry about it.
So if I show it in this, I'll just show a little piece of it.
Yeah, show like 10 seconds. Don't show too much because I don't want to accidentally take this video down.
Yeah, I know, right? All of a sudden, I'm banned from Delta next.
Right. It's pretty crazy.
No, that's nuts, man. I never heard that story, and like to be put on the no-fly list, like it's you and like some terrorists and some drug traffickers.
That's so funny. I say that I'm like, who else is on the no-fly list? It's just terrorists. There's a couple thousand terrorists, one TikToker, and Kathy Griffin. And years later, that people still laugh at that Kathy Griffin joke. Right? not changing it until people stop laughing.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it doesn't get more Andy Kaufman than that, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I actually love hip hop. My favorite band is the Wu-Tang Clan. I like the name Liberty Bell. Has a nice ring to it. I hate pizza. Hate pizza. I guess you could say I'm the anti-crust.
The subway stuff, which I love, when you jump on the subways dressed in different characters.
Oh, I hate doing it, man. I hate it.
That's what I want to know. It's like, what's the vibe like when you're now walking to the subway dressed up as the devil?
Yeah.
So how does that go? Like before you even get onto the subway?
I live on the same block of my train entrance. It's like 30 yards from my front door. So that walk is fine. But that is the train I'm taking every day. So you end up seeing the same people, on that stop. And so that sucks, when people are like, oh,
he's at it again.
And people had now, walking like the devil was kind of fun because it was kind of like a sexy devil. I had my shirt, jacket open. I was just tons of red paint. I'm still finding red paint in my ear to this day. It literally destroyed so much of my apartment because this paint would not come off. But yeah, the devil was fun because I did have a mask on. When I don't have a mask on or a lot of makeup, I feel very vulnerable and insecure, and I just want I want someone to just like shoot me or something.
I started a charity. Don't worry, it's a non-profit. Been going to the gym, working on that 666 pack. I don't make any money off these videos. My page is demonetized.
It is cringy to do. It's hard to watch. When I edit them, I'm like, oh boy, this is tough. I'm just like, oh, just watching me bomb for 2 hours, with jokes that are terrible puns. They're dad jokes. And I do that on purpose. I can't write a whole section. I have friends submit jokes. I'll send out a text to like some buddies that really enjoy their comedy. Eric Diddleman, Michael Somerville. I'll say, hey guys, I'm going out as the devil. Send me any jokes you have, and they'll send me some jokes, and I'll write some jokes. So it's a collection of people's jokes, and it's also like famous dad puns, and it seems to work pretty well.
Between you and me, I cry when I masturbate. I'm a real tear jerker.
Sometimes people think I edit out the laughter, and I don't at all. And I have YouTube videos where you can see everyone on the train after I tell a joke. It's not just a vertical shot, and you can just see it. It is just hard. It is hard. But that's what makes it so good, I think, is that they're bad jokes. Like they're sometimes they're good, but sometimes they're just terrible, awful jokes. And I'm just like looking around for any kind of reaction, any kind of eye contact, any kind of chuckle, smirk, I'll take. But it's tough.
So you walk in there, you set up, you got the microphone, you dressed up as, let's just, you've done a bunch of different characters, but we'll stay on the devil for this one.
Okay, sure.
And then you're standing there, and now you stay in that same spot for the whole time, and you just wait for different stops as they're coming in.
Yeah, so okay, so this is what happens. So I have this microphone. This is the one I take with me.
There it is.
Yeah. It's not. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm not. Okay, so this is the mic I take with me, and the cord is cut. It's not even plugged into anything. And so we go into one stop, and I'll do my set, and then when the train stops, I'll get off and I'll run to the next car. I don't like to be in the same car for a long time. I like to hit as many as I can, just because you get different shots, different people. But I'll do the same jokes in every car for the most part. But I usually only have like 30 to 45 seconds in each car as well. So I just kind of go, I have like, you can kind of see this in some videos, but I have like a cheat sheet of my jokes. I'm kind of reading,
right.
And I'm just trying to get them all out. And I'll try, and then I'll talk to my videographer Drew, this guy Drew Jordan. He films me all the time, and I'll say, hey, which ones do I need to get again? Which ones which ones are good? I'm like, can we be done now? and he's really honest. And he'll be like, yeah, you need to do this one again. I'm like, oh God, I hate that. So like we go out and we try to do get at least three videos, like 3 20-second clips. And sometimes we get more, sometimes we get less. Cupid was the hardest one to do because it was freezing cold. I shaved all my body hair for the video. I put a little like a Roman Empire kind of skirt on, and I bought like a Twinkie Justin Bieber looking wig, but it was just my face and just like had like blush. It looked pretty. It wasn't. I didn't feel comfortable in it at all. And then I wore a bodysuit, so I looked like I had 6-pack and muscles and stuff. And that was tough because no one wanted to interact with me because I looked like a crazy person. I once went on a date with a welder. The sparks were flying. Did you like that last one? It was all right. All right. I looked insane.
So there's only one camera person, or was it
just one camera guy? Yeah.
He does a great job because he's getting the reactions, shots, he's getting a lot of stuff.
He shoots so wide, so I'm able to like punch in when I do. I do all the editing for him, so I'm able to punch in on whoever is like on my right or left side. So it's great. Yeah, he just kind of stands there, and he just hopes no one, like we've been very lucky so far doing this. We've been doing it for almost a year now, and he's been great with if people don't want to be filmed or anything, like we're not trying to, put people on blast or, but people are in public and you can film anyone on the subway. So like legally we're protected. But if someone's like, hey, we don't want to be on camera, we're cool with that. The telephone proposed to his girlfriend. He gave her a ring. There we go. That's the ring. Good to see you.
Do you get anybody that's like really enjoying it and like becomes a fan, like, cracking up laughing, or most people just kind of ignoring you or just not laughing? Or
I will say the more I do it, the more I actually get recognized while I'm doing it on the train. So people were like, oh, I follow you, or like, oh, the last time I did Uncle Sam for the 4th of July, and I had 3 people. We were out for we only filmed that for like 40 minutes. And 3 people in 40 minutes were like, oh, I know you, I follow you. We're like, oh, I saw you.
Dude,
and so that's kind of cool. And that's kind of rewarding in a sense. Because like, okay, I'm on the right path. So let's keep doing these stupid train videos. I can't think of any more ideas. There are no more beverages at the barbecue I was just at. So it was just liberty and just ice for all. And it was all holidays. Like all last year, it was like all holidays except for the devil. People got really mad I did the Jesus on the subway. That was like the most viral video I've had on the train. One has like 11 million views, which is great. Started working out at Jehovah's Fitness. They kept bothering me, so now I just do CrossFit.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were very upset about it. So I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll do Satan then. I'll balance it out."
Right, there you go.
So it wasn't like a holiday, but it was
and
fun.
I saw the Jesus one, and I know people get sensitive to that stuff, but I thought the Jesus one was fine. I thought the jokes were funny at CrossFit and all that stuff. I thought they were like good, solid, like one line type vibe jokes that worked. They weren't offensive.
No.
People think I like to walk everywhere, but that's not true. I drive a Chrysler. Went to a wine tasting. I got cut off. I got too drunk. They said, we're only going to serve you water now. I was like, oh no.
No, I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it is fun when people fight in the comments because it just helps the algorithm boost up your video. Yeah, that's good. So I'll try to talk about some controversial subjects, but in a non-controversial way to then get people talking about it. It's kind of fun.
Sure.
Yeah. And I will. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I want to interrupt you.
I was gonna say the Grinch video we did. That was the only video where I kind of like put on a different voice, and it was just like I kind of tried to do like a Jim Carrey Grinch voice. It's kind of like, say, it's almost like a 30s guy, say.
Yeah.
I don't always take the subway. Sometimes I take a Hoover. A Hoover. She's laughing. She gets it. She's smart. The rest of you, pay attention. Raise your hand if you farted.
Yeah, you just kind of talk like that. But anyway, I did that video. Then I got contacted by ABC News, and they actually had me come into ABC News in full Grinch garb to do like a segment with them. I thought that was pretty fun, like the day before Christmas Eve last year. So you never know who's going to see these videos and what it's going to lead to. But that was fun,
dude. The power of the internet.
Crazy
has been good and bad to you. I mean, with the Delta, but also with this, but I think the Subway comedy stuff, I love it, man. Like if I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see like, oh shit, he's Uncle Sam now, and then I watch it because I want to hear the one-liners. I love all the jokes. I love that you're out there, and then I'm like, man. You also think, man, the balls to go out there and, just in the middle of a subway and to do all this. There's just so much that goes into that.
About life, liberty, and the pursuit of happy hours. Am I right? 4th of July, huh? Let's get Star-Spangled Hammered. Red, White, and Brew. If you're of age, of course. No nutcrackers.
Do you ever get issues with police or homeless people? Has anything crazy happen?
Yeah, actually, when I was the Grinch, I was running in between trains, and I saw like a huge fight break out. Like these two guys were fighting on the train. I'm like, Drew, are you filming? He goes, yeah. I go, keep filming, and I run into the fight as the Grinch, and I'm trying to break it up. I'm like, oh, guys, come on now, quit fighting. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. And then people were just like, no one even batted an eye that I was the Grinch. But I got, me and a few other people got the fight broken up. And then I interviewed the guy who was fighting some guy, and he was like, we need to just love each other. We need to love each other. And then I cut it from him saying that to him like decking this guy on the train. And then I was like, I can't show that. That's not my brand at all. But I do have that footage. But yeah, I just can't. It's like, it's not funny. It's sad to see some guy get knocked out on the train. Then I'm like, Drew, are you filming? Like, it felt like bum fights in a way, but it wasn't good. Didn't make the cut.
But but when you're in the moment and you're there and something's happening, you do want to film it and see what is going to happen next. So
totally, it's so fun. And the Grinch everyone loves to hate him. Like you can be mean as the Grinch and people just laugh it off. It's so fun. Like he is actually like a really fun character. I'm not going to bring, I don't think, any of the characters I did back for like next year, but probably the Grinch. Not only because the costume cost me a shit ton of money, but I had fun doing it. So like I might just do that again, cosplay the Grinch for some videos.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, you should.
I want to let you know I didn't rob those houses.
Which ones?
I was falsely accused. All of them.
All right.
Falsely accused.
I think we just got note of that.
Send it in. Christmas is terrible. I'm more of a Hanukkah guy.
Yeah.
So you got Jesus, the devil, the Grinch, Cupid, Uncle Sam,
Pilgrim.
You did. Oh, the Pilgrim. I think I did see the Pilgrim one.
Taylor Swift and a Thanksgiving turkey have a lot in common. They're both getting stuffed by a chief. There we go. All right. That's a good one. All right. Pilgrim. That was the second one I did. I always try to give.
Yeah.
I always try to give these characters a little bit of a dimension to them, so there's not just a pilgrim, but this guy was like a woke pilgrim. So we had like a pride pin and wearing like a bunch of those Taylor Swift bracelets just to give him like edge. Like, I'm a pilgrim, but I'm woke. I'm not like gonna go,
Yeah.
Pilgrims get a bad rap. Like, I'm a good guy. I'm an ally. And I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. I'm trying to rebrand the Pilgrims. I'm an ally.
That's awesome. Yeah, so now you're starting to see the TikTok blow up. You're starting to see all this stuff happening.
Yeah, it's fun.
What are some of the pros and cons of street performing and doing
of doing the stuff on the street? I would say the pros is just that if you're in New York, anything is possible. Anything can happen. And I think the cons are kind of like the same thing. It's like you're not really in control of your surroundings. So you could go out the whole day and try to get gold. You're doing man on the street or something, and it just doesn't click. It doesn't work. It's not the vibe. The thing is, when you're doing this stuff, you have to kind of be in a good mood. You have to be in a good mind space. But when you're scheduling it, when you're booking the videographer guy and you're like planning it out, you don't know if you're going to be feeling it the moment that day. So you kind of have to fake it and just work through it.
Right.
Which can be tough. Of course, like, I lose a ton of money every time I do these. That kind of sucks too. Like, yeah, it's nice. I'm growing my following a bit and more people know who I am, but you're taking a big risk on myself. And it's like, some of these cost me like close to $1,000 just getting in the costume. Cause I want the costumes to look good. I try to spend as much money as I can, just making sure the little details are there. I hire a makeup artist. He comes over and he's got like a big trunk of stuff. And the Grinch, I think, took 3 hours of time just to get into the makeup.
Wow.
So that's kind of the thing that kind of blows about it, is like I can't just do it whenever I want. I kind of have to, get into because it's funny. I started doing these just as me on the train, doing my jokes, like my tweets that never really made it to stage, or and so I started just doing it, and I was like, oh, this is brutal. I wish I could cover up my face. And that's where we got like the ideas of just doing characters trying to do stand-up instead of me like trying to do stand-up, because it felt weird because I am a stand-up and I'm doing bad jokes on the train. It's not really great for my brand.
Right, yeah. It's not
people are like, oh, those are the jokes he's doing? That's not funny. But,
I don't want to see this guy live.
Yeah. Who wants to hear some jokes? I do. Here's my impression of a clown throwing up.
Oh!
Yeah, but hopefully people understand the bit I'm doing now, and they'll want to see me do my actual jokes. One guy wrote me an email once, and he's like, I am entertained by these Subway videos, but like I've heard this joke before, and I had to write him back and be like, yeah, that joke is probably a joke that's been done 100 times, but I'm a character doing stand-up as this person. It's not like Marcus Monroe, all right, this is a new tight five I wrote. It's just like, some of them are street jokes, some of them are jokes my friends submitted, some of the jokes we wrote for that. But they're, a guy, I think he was like, oh, dude, if you're doing jokes, they got to be your own jokes. I'm like, yeah, when I do my stuff, they are my own jokes. But when I'm playing an oak tree, I'm not gonna like write 15 minutes about being a tree.
Yeah, no, I think, if you're in character and the character you're playing is like, the devil trying to do stand up, and he's a deliberately hacky performer, then you want it to be like that. Hey, everybody,
exactly.
So totally. I think most people understand the joke within the joke type of thing.
I like to think so. And if they don't, then it's just not for them, And there's a lot of people on the internet. This guy's not funny. This guy's a hack. He's just doing dad jokes. I'm like, that's the bit.
That's the point. Yeah,
I know. I'm like, scroll through my feed. I have millions of views on jokes that are mine that I wrote. So just watch those and then tell me I'm a hack or something.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And I've seen your stuff. First of all, you're a great writer and great storyteller.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the storytelling. Oh my God, I just watched a thing yesterday that you did about your your balls.
Oh yeah, true story. Yeah,
dude, it's so
crazy.
fucking hilarious. It's like belly laugh stuff.
What's up? Because a few years ago, I went to bed and then I woke up and I realized that, like, my balls were big. You know? Like, you remember when you were younger and, like, you would get a little toy dinosaur and you're supposed to put it in water, then overnight it's like, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I had a Sackosaurus. Okay, that's what I had.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm watching it from the computer. I can imagine what it's like seeing you live when the vibe is there, you're in the room and you're feeling the energy.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love to tell true stories. I have a few of them that are really good. Like my balls, I had balls the size of a grapefruit for probably like 7 months. I didn't know. I didn't know they were too big. I was like, this is what they are.
And had to get a sonogram.
Yeah, I had to get ultrasound on my ball sack. Another time, my wife and I accidentally booked our honeymoon at a nudist resort. So 2 weeks, we're just like walking around naked day after we got married. My bad.
Yeah,
my wife now books our honeymoons. But yeah, and then I try to talk about just like real stuff that happens to me. Like we got conned into keeping 5 cats for 2 years in a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City because this cat rescue group like tried to screw us over. And then we said the main thing was like we would go out of town. I do shows. My wife comes with me a lot, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'll watch the cats." We're like, "Oh, great." But then she charged us for watching the cats that she gave us just to make money. Like it was wild.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful in the freaking New York. Everybody's out for something, man.
Oh, that's true. I mean, that's true.
1-bedroom apartment. We can't have 5 cats. And she's like, think of it as like a cat boy band. I'm like, the Cat Street Boys. I'm in.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah, it's wild. But I love it. You've been in New York. You've been in Long Island your whole life?
Yeah, born and raised and out here in Suffolk County. Yeah.
Okay, cool. My brother just married a girl from Valley Stream.
Oh yeah, Valley Stream, good town.
Yeah, it's a fun place. Yeah, it's cool.
Beaches out here, you can't beat them, man.
Really? What's the best beach?
Well, it depends what kind of beaches you're looking to go to, but like Jones Beach or Robert Moses Beach are real nice sandy beaches on the South Shore. But you go to the North Shores where you got like the like rocks and the view, and you know it's not so much for swimming, but good fishing, stuff like that. The beautiful to look at, So it's one day you got to come out here, man. Come out to Long Island.
I'd love to, dude. I'd love to do Governors. I'd love to, man.
Dude, we got to get you in Governors for sure.
I want to do it. I got to get Rory on it.
All right, get Rory on it, and I know Peter, his brother, is good friends with the owner of Governors, James. So,
great.
So yeah, man.
All right,
let's make it happen.
We can make it work. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, man.
I'll come out there.
You got to come out there and like on the drive out, just be dressed up as like the devil or something. And I'm just kidding.
I look weird. The barber messed up my hair, but don't worry, he's gonna have hell to pay. You can take off your parachute. You've landed.
Dude, you'd be surprised how many people like, will you come to my comic book convention or whatever and do that bit? I'm like, it's not gonna work if I do that anywhere else. It's like it's not. It's the editing. It all comes together in the editing, I think.
The editing is great, man. And it's cool that you do the edits as well, because that's a whole nother.
I can't afford
style.
to pay anyone else. I'm losing so much money every time I get one of these ideas.
Dude, you do a great job, man. I watched the other day too, which I think is awesome, is the unicycle ride through Central Park. You almost made it. I'm waiting for part 2 to drop because
it's too hot right now. I am gonna do it again. So I love endurance stunts. Growing up, I loved watching David Blaine like put himself through hell. And I was like, what could I do that's like that? And so I decided to ride my 7-foot-tall bedazzled unicycle through Central Park every 15 minutes taking an edible. And so I did that, posted it. Then I got a message from this edible company. They're like, we'd love to sponsor you. I'm like, great.
Hey, so there you go. Have free edibles.
I do. Look, they sent me like a box.
Wow.
Of all these edibles now.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's crazy. But I love it. It's so fun to make these videos, and I just love being silly in public. I kind of take all the world's a stage philosophy and kind of really just like put it to heart. I think if you live in New York City, you're used to seeing weird stuff like this, so people don't really care or bat an eye when they see me do stuff. And it's so fun. I love having New York City be the backdrop for all these crazy videos. It's fun. It's really fun.
It's so great because here you are on a 7-foot unicycle and no one is like shocked to see you. You just running
not at all. Not at all.
And no one's like, holy shit, like no one is even
no one said anything. People were actually, one person yelled out, "Were you the guy that tried to run a marathon?" Because like 2 weeks before that, I tried to run a marathon without any training. And I was like, yeah, that was me. And he was like, yeah.
And with the marathon, you did the edibles also, like every mile or something like that.
Every mile I took an edible, which might not seem like a lot, but that's every 8 or 9 minutes I was popping edibles. And I did it on an empty stomach, and I didn't drink any water the entire time. And I made it 16 miles before I was like, I'm good.
No water too. What are the edibles? Do they help you in an endurance challenge, or do they slow you down, or like are you just so like,
I don't know yet. I think they help because I don't think I could, like, if I'm sober, I don't know if I could run 16 miles just for fun, right. But I think it must have helped a little bit, because I've heard of people running with high like on purpose all the time. Like my friend Dan Lamort does it, and he runs like he's like an ultra distance runner. That he runs crazy distances. So I was like, oh, and I texted him before it. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna try to run a marathon tomorrow. Any advice? I'm gonna be high. And he's like, yeah, you'll be fine. I'm like, all right. So I did it, and I did pretty good. And I did pretty
16
good.
miles is pretty awesome.
Not bad. I hadn't run over like 5 miles for like months before that. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. But you are a runner. You do run like 5 miles like normally?
Not a day. Like I'll run. I like 3 to 5 miles, maybe like 4 times a week, maybe. Like I ran like 2 miles today, but I think there's a big difference between like doing that and then like a marathon.
Yeah.
Like it's like you need to train for a marathon. And so that was the point. Like I wasn't really training. I keep in shape by running, but I'm not like.
Right. You weren't trained to run 16 miles.
No.
How long does the recovery after, running 16 miles, all those edibles? Like,
the thing that sucked was I had to edit the video that day.
That same day you went home and edited?
Yeah, I went home and I edited the video, and I don't remember the rest of the day. I couldn't tell you what I did. Oh, no. I was very sore the next couple of days. The unicycle, though, I was the most in pain after that. I was very, very sore. It was not fun.
My eyes are watering. I'm sweaty. My back hurts. I'm not wearing bike shorts. My taint is gone forever.
You were like complaining about your crotch hurting like in the beginning almost.
Oh yeah.
So then
I don't ride a unicycle. I live in New York City. I'm not riding a unicycle, so I don't practice it. So I'm not used to being on it. And then I was on it for over 2 hours, and it was just like my paint was red. There wasn't like pus, but it was just like bad. Like it was like not good. And I wasn't acting. I wasn't putting on for the video. Like it was hard. It was like the hardest one I've done. So I'm really looking forward to doing that when maybe it's September when it gets a little cooler. And I got to complete one of these things eventually. I really do.
I think you got it, man. But when being a guy who doesn't take things seriously, a little off kilter in your style of comedy,
sure.
Is it when you are in actual pain of people not believe you?
Yeah, they don't believe me, I don't think. But I don't care. The people who I care about know I'm really hurting. Like Drew, who's with me, my wife, she knows.
Right, people close to you know the real.
And my wife also, bless her, she's a huge supporter of mine. Obviously, she wouldn't be married to me if she didn't believe in me. But she's also like, I don't like these. But she knows when I get an idea, I just have to do it and see it through. So I had an idea I have this gig tomorrow in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it's actually, I'm doing stand-up, but it's for the International Juggling Festival. And the guy who booked me, I'm like, hey, I'm not really juggling anymore. Is that going to be an issue? And he's like, no. But then he's like, Could you? And I was like, all right, what if I did stand up on the unicycle? So I'm gonna do that
Nice.
tomorrow and see how that goes. I have to write it still, but yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully it won't be on that long, and I feel like maybe I've like built in some like calluses in my taint or something so I can like stay on it for like a set, We'll see.
Taint calluses. Yeah, there you go, man. Is somebody
That's
going to
gross.
film
I'm
this?
sorry, that's not a thing. I'm sorry?
Somebody going to film this thing, I hope?
Absolutely. That's the only reason I'm doing it.
Yeah, man. Good. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that, man.
Thanks, Don. Yeah, should be out next week. Bang, bang.
Yes. Yeah.
Hope
You're out there. You chop them up right away, man.
Have to do it. Yeah. Yeah, I shot this other video yesterday. I posted it this morning. Yeah, I just, it's one of those things. Like the bad part of that is that people are just want more. It never ends. Like you can become famous doing social media, but if you want to maintain that, you still have to do social media.
Right.
So
it never ends. There's always work to do.
It never ends. Yep. But I love it. I love the creative process. I love writing jokes. I love, having an idea, having it form and doing it. That's fun.
It's Justin Timberlake Day. His push is. So this is the boy band bathroom original promo. Justin signed this, signed the clock. I got him on the light from the No Strings Attached tour.
From what I've seen, you're a big fan of the boy bands. So I wanted to get a top 5 boy bands, and I'll give you my top 5 boy bands.
Oh, wow. Okay, now okay, let's just clarify the definition of a boy band. Okay.
All right.
So it's a group of guys that make pop music targeted to teens. Would that be what you would say?
That sounds perfect.
Okay. So they can play their own instruments, because like I would say Blink-182 is a boy band.
Oh, really? The Blink-182 falls under the genre, boy band genre for you?
I think so, because they write catchy pop songs targeted to teens. When they first came out, right?
Right.
Now it's older. Obviously, but they grew up with us. But that's But I'll keep for this. I'll keep it traditional. So I'll go, top 5 NSYNC. Okay. Then we got O-Town.
Right.
Number 2, Backstreet Boys. I'll do One Direction's pretty good. And I'll say Busted, number 5.
Busted. All right. That's a good, we're pretty much in sync, actually, in our list.
Really?
Mine is in sync, Backstreet Boys,
great,
O-Town, and then I had New Kids on the Block.
Okay.
And then I had New Edition. So I went a little old school.
Great. No, that's great. I love New Edition. Yeah, I think I was a little too young for New Kids. They were, but I respect them a lot. It's so funny because like I am crazy obsessed with them, and I was hoping to keep that in the DL during this podcast because I want to seem cool. But yeah, I don't know why. I've just been a fan of them ever since I started listening to music. I remember the first time I heard like Bye Bye Bye, I was like, this song is awesome. And thankfully my wife is awesome, and she lets me listen to whatever I want. She's all right. Like we went to the Justin Timberlake concert last week in New York, and she was like, all right, I get it. This is kind of fun. I'm like, it's so fun. But yeah.
Justin Timberlake rocks, man. Like, so when all this boy band stuff starts popping off, like, even back, so New Kids on the Block was my generation, and then got older, but with NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Your first instinct, I guess, as a guy, quotes, is to push that away. That's not my thing, But then they start to earn your props. Like if you play, I want it that the whole place is gonna go.
The whole place go, and they all the guys who called me gay in high school suddenly know all the lyrics.
Yeah, they all gonna
like, you're gay, Craig. You're gay.
And not only is Craig singing it, he's dancing. He knows the dances.
He knows the moves, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know the moves that well. But yeah, it's so fun. And the thing is, like, I've been very lucky and fortunate to be able to do shows now with O-Town, with LFO. I've done shows with some of my favorite pop acts from back in the day, Ryan Cabrera, It's so fun. In fact, I don't know if you can see, I got this like shirt framed here. It's like a t-shirt, but it was worn by Chris Kirkpatrick on during the Pop Odyssey tour. I'm nerding out. I think people are turning me off at this point. But I love it. It's so fun. And it's just like, yeah, it's cool. Whatever. No big deal.
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
little boys doing boy band stuff. The boys in the band.
When I watched your Timberlake video, is that really all your stuff? Like I like the in sync. You have actually an in sync.
Yeah. It's this bathroom right behind me here. I have there's a closet doors open, but yeah, I have a boy band bathroom. I mean, within hand's reach, I got a Joey Fatone hat. I mean, I mean, it's my own merch is I made myself into a boy band, and I have like 5 different personalities, all of myself on a t-shirt, and on a poster. It's fun. I get a kick out of it, and
that's awesome, man.
It's fun because it's it's not what you'd think someone. I'm gonna be 40 next year is really into boy bands, but it's fun. I like them. You like what you like, whatever.
Hey, man, and you know what? You made it look cool in that Justin Timberlake video with all your stuff. I got a kick out of it. I watched it like 3 times. I'm just looking at all the stuff. I'm like, oh, he's got the puppets hanging, like all the things you have set up. It's just really cool.
Thank you.
Is Justin Timberlake like your favorite of all of them?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like the I think so. I think he's the most probably the most talented one. I mean, Harry Styles also pretty cool. But yeah, I would love to meet Justin. Haven't met him yet.
He was just on Long Island. I don't know if you heard. He was in Sag Harbor, Long Island.
Did that make the news or something?
It might have been newsworthy.
I would love to meet him. Hopefully they're gonna tour soon. That'd be great if NSYNC tours. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but hopefully our paths will cross.
Very cool.
He did like one of my jokes on Instagram. That was pretty cool.
Really? Which joke did Timberlake like?
It was a joke about, I was on stage talking about Chris Kirkpatrick because I was in Nashville at the time, and I sent Chris a message before I knew him, and I was like, hey dude, I'd love to invite you to my show at Zany's here in Nashville. And he read it, but he left it he didn't message me back. It said it was marked as read. So I went on stage. I was like, yo, I got beef now with Chris Kirkpatrick. He's reading my messages but not responding. And then then I posted that video. Then he wrote me back, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. My team read that. I was like, your team? All right. But then that video was the one that Justin liked. It was kind of just riffing on Chris. But since then we've become really good friends.
That's awesome. I met Joey Fatone once.
Oh yeah, Joey's great.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was at a golf tournament, and this is North Carolina, and he was super cool, man. He alone made me more of a fan of.
Yeah, he's so cool. And Joey's just a normal dude. He really is. Like he's just a cool guy. He actually came to the New York Comedy Club to watch my set. He was so cool. He was like coming to town. He texted me, hey, do you have any shows I can come to? I'm like, actually, yeah. Mark Norman and I were doing a show together. So I'm like, come to that show. And then I brought him up on stage with me at the end. We brought up Mark. It was awesome. Yeah, it's so fun.
That's cool,
Such
man.
a good dude. Yeah, it was fun. He's down to earth fella. Love that guy.
Dude, and you know, how long you been in the city and doing comedy now? Because you're in a great
20
time.
years.
20 years, dude.
Yeah.
And the fun, you look so young, you know, like.
Thanks, man.
And because when I see your body of work, I'm like, man, how old is this guy? He's like, but you look great. You're in the city at the best time ever, man. Like there's so much great New York comedy popping. You said like with Mark Norman and those guys.
Yeah.
And dude. I just feel like with, you know, having Rory and everything else and everything you got going on, you know, you're putting the work in, bro. I think, you know,
thank you. I really appreciate it.
But when you pop, when you become next level,
yeah,
you got to promise to still come back to DONversation.
Oh, absolutely. DONversation every Tuesday, all day, baby. Well, yeah.
Because I'll give you a finger hug, man. I'll give you the finger hug.
Dude, you went deep. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's awesome. Thank you. You did your research. I'm so appreciative of that. That's awesome. Dude. Thank you, man. That's so brother. Good. I'm gonna send you some dope edibles.
I could use them, that's for sure.
All right. Yeah. Send me your actually. I'm serious. I'll send you some. Right. I have so many. I'm not even a stoner. I just did it for a video. Now I got like all these edibles around me all the time.
Dope, man.
Dope.
So we got to get you to hear the governors. But in the
Yes.
meantime, tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, watch you, and all that stuff.
Yes, Instagram and TikTok at Marcus J. Monroe, marcusmonroe.com for all my dates. I got facebook.com/Marcus Monroe Comedy. But yeah, just come. Instagram's probably like the main spot right now. I'm going all over the road this summer. I'm in Austin, Raleigh, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Naples, Tampa, Orlando. Yeah, we're hitting, and then I'm going all to the west. I'm doing Las Vegas, doing LA, doing San Jose. So come out, buy tickets. Please come see your boy, and yeah, listen to Talkie Walkie. Thank you.
You rock. Marcus Monroe, everybody. Check him out.
Thank you, Don.